What's up, everyone? What is up? What is up? What's up? Um, just making a live out of boredom. Let's have a conversation, right? If you guys are bored, I'm bored. I ain't doing much. So if you guys want, let's have a conversation. Okay. I have some certain topics that I think will be interesting to talk about. Particularly number one, right? I've been having some theories with number one, right? Women are more violent than men, or probably more like the or they are more violent than society makes them out to be, right? Right. So I believe women are more violent than we believe that they are. Now, I messed up with number two a little bit, right? Spelling, or I didn't add certain things. What's up? What's up? What's up? Why women leave majority of the time is from boredom, not because he's a bad boyfriend or a bad husband, right? I believe the majority of times when women leave relationships, I think it's out of boredom, right? I think it's out of boredom. Kathy, what is up? What is up? Okay. Um, I think this might be an interesting conversation, right? A lot of people always debate this one. A lot of people always have a conversation with this one, right? Women benefit more from marriage than men. It's a decent conversation we can have, right? Again, no hostility. Just let's have. If you guys are bored, let's have a respectful back and forth, right? Let's have a respectful conversation. I think it'll be fun. Another one that I think will be fun, right? Women prefer victimhood to accountability. Again, just having a respectful conversation, right? Thank you, cool kid. Again, we're just having fun, right? We're just having fun talking to each other. I'm a respectful guy. I'm not no hate, just having fun, right? Having a fun. Hopefully we can have a fun back and forth and we can have a conversation. I think, if you're bored, you have nothing to do. I'm bored. I'm not doing much right now. So I would love to have a conversation. So I guess let me explain some of these topics, right? Let me explain some of these topics. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm bored too. I'm bored too. So let me explain some of these topics. So, all right. Number one, right? Women are more violent than men, or more. Uh, the more violent than men is no. I don't think it's true, right? I wouldn't say that's true, but it's more like a catchy title. But I do believe that, you know, um, women are more violent than we perceived, right? Than society believes. I believe because there's something that I've been having a theory on, right? There's a theory I have that a lot of cases, right? A lot of cases where these men are violent, right? A lot of these cases where these men are violent, if you look into these cases, right? If you look into these men, a lot of times it's a woman. Yo, Omni, what's up, my brother? What's up, my brother? I think a lot of times women aim men like a gun. Do they now? I don't think so, but that'd be crazy. Alberto, what's up? What's up? I think a lot of times what women aim men at other men, right? So I just did a video. Okay, there was a video on my shorts, so please check it out, of a woman complaining to her husband that another man called her a B, right? Another man called her a B. So this her husband got so mad, confronted the guy. So now they're arguing, right? They're arguing back and forth. That's essentially, I believe, a lot of times what women do, right? They manipulate or they talk to a man, convince a man, or whatever, pointing a man at another man, right? And in sense that become violent, maybe even you know killing each other or whatever. That's what I believe. Well, it's my birthday today, so I'm staying. Thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, cool kid. Mr. Well, two quiet hills beneath the heart, where warmth and wonder gently start. They carry life, they soften time, a tribute to strength in curves and grace. Interesting poem. Interesting poem. All right. So that's kind of my premise for number one, right? Again, I'm willing to talk about any kind of topics you guys have. If you guys seen my other stuff, I'm definitely willing to talk about other topics. But these are here's some topics that I think will be fun to have a conversation with, right? So, number two, why women leave majority of the time is from boredom, not because he is a bad boyfriend or a bad husband. I believe there are some studies, right? Some studies that has shown that women, on average, get bored quicker in long-term committed relationships than they do men, right? The spark fades. Like a lot of times, a lot of reasonings for leaving a marriage or leaving a relationship is that the spark is gone, you grew apart, you fall out of love, stuff like that. But essentially, all that, in my honest opinion, is just you're bored with the man, right? You're bored with the life that your life with him. You're bored with being with him. You're bored with the lifestyle. So I kind of see that it's boredom, right? So I attribute a lot of those to a woman is bored. She's bored with you. She's bored with the life that it's with you. So that's why you know, a lot of women leave relationships, leave marriages. That's my opinion. Okay. Number three, right? I believe, women benefit more from marriage than men. I believe that's true, right? I'll say this, right? Men benefit from long-term committed relationships. I'll say that, right? Sorry to interrupt, but can you give me a challenge? What kind of challenge? I mean, what type of challenge? Competition combination platter with white rice, please. William, what is up? What is up? I don't know how I will give you anything through the phone. Any. Hmm, Dang. I don't know. A challenge. No, I'm not religious. I'm not religious. Hmm, I can't think of a challenge. What kind of challenge can I give someone? I don't know. I don't know. Uh okay. Challenge. Quick, easy challenge. All right. Can you guess my ethnicity? Right? I mean, I guess it's a fun challenge. Oh, like 50 push-ups? Yeah. I wouldn't be able to see it, but do can you do 20 pull-ups? 20 pull-ups, I feel like it's harder than push-ups. Do like 50 pull-ups. Would you ever consider a religion or anything along the lines of it? Um, would I ever consider it? I don't think so. I don't think I would consider a religion. To me, I find for me, I find religion very I don't know. I just find religion in my own again, I respect everyone's religion, right? I respect everyone who believes it, but I feel like religion in a lot of sense is just a cop out for you not to, you not holding yourself accountable, right? You needing something or someone to hold you accountable. So I believe in the strength of man, right? I believe in oneself. So that's my way of that's my type of religion where just I just believe in myself. I hold myself accountable, right? I believe in logical morality, right? I believe in the human spirit. So number 1, no. Why would you think that, right? Hi, chef. What is up? What is up? I again, right? The first part, women are more violent than men. Yeah, I don't think women are more violent than men, but I do believe that women are more violent than we perceive they are. Can you shout out my dying cousin? His name is Finn. What's up, Finn? Shout out to Finn. Buster, what is up? I'm bored, so just seeing what you guys think, right? Just having a conversation. Number three, you think number three is a yes? Cool, cool. Number four, most people do. I mean, I let me see this, right? Let me say this. I don't think. Are there men that do that? Yes. Are there? Of course. There's most people that can do certain things, but on average, I don't think so, right? Yeah, Charlie Kirk was an amazing person. Number one, vocally, but not physically. Yeah, Len, correct, right? And that's the thing where, but also women use awesome, cool kid. That good that you accomplish it. Also, I just think that, like I said, when I was describing it, I think a lot of times, because of vocally, right? Women aim men like a weapon, right? So women essentially use men like a weapon. So a lot of times where men fight each other, men kill each other, men go to prison. A lot of times, I believe a woman aimed him like a gun. That's what I believe. Bro, I'm hurting. Lock, my brother. You know, gain that strength. Don't hurt, right? Improve yourself. Focus on yourself. Be better. I believe that since we all make bad choices, no one is perfect. What do you have to lose if you believe in God? Yeah, okay, here's my thing, right? I prefer to just believe in myself because I don't want to rely on someone else. That's my thing. Where why I said religion is sometimes a cop out, in my opinion, is that we are relying on God, right? We rely on God. We rely on something external to keep us in check. When I think the best thing to keep you in check is yourself, right? Hold yourself accountable. That's how I view it, right? Yes, no one's perfect. And that is the thing, right? We're not perfect. So we shouldn't try and think that we are perfect. We shouldn't. That's the thing. That's how I go about it. Delusional. Women have nothing to do with it. What do you mean women have nothing to do with it? No, cool kid. Working out is good for you. 100% work out, my brother. Glitch. It's internal though. Is it? Is it? This is the thing where, again, you know, I, um, uh, well, everyone is a slave to something, so discipline and God is a good combo. Again, I don't tell people to not follow God. I would not tell people that, right? I mean, use whatever you can to, you know, be disciplined. Use whatever you can to be a good person. Use whatever you can to hold yourself accountable. I prefer to use my own strength, right? Women don't weaponize men. I think that's a lie. I think that's a lie because again, I have video proof, right? If you see one of my shorts, right, just a recent short, one short, but I have plenty of other videos where a woman, a wife, right, went to her husband, a wife went to her husband and told her husband that this other man called her a B, right? Called her a B. She went to her husband, right then and there, right? Like a minute later, right? Went to her husband, told her husband that another man called her a B. So now her husband went and confront that man. So sure, you can find an example. I found an example, right? I have an example, a video example. Again, this is the thing. I think again, it's my personal opinion, right? I'm not saying that I have studies on it. There's no study on it, right? S- you know, uh there's no poll or numbers or statistics on it, but I believe on average, okay, a lot of women, right, use men like a gun. They weaponize men. They they point men at one direction, right? That man uh was disrespectful towards me. Well, because you are her man, you have to defend her honor. Essentially, she pointed you like a gun. She used you like a gun. My best friend had my girlfriend on the bed. My brother, that's hard. I hope you make it out. Yeah, they do weaponize men. I hope you get better. Your head's in the way. Sorry, Lynn. Who has been teaching these women to be this way? Social media, society has taught. I mean, yes, social media is a big influencer. I think other women, right? Other women teach other women like that. My thing is that if there's no God, which I believe there is, you have more to lose than if you don't believe. What would you have to lose? To be honest, I don't think you have to lose anything. Right? We should make our life on earth the most important time we have, right? So I think we should focus on what's happening on earth, right? What's happening in our lives. Narcissistic women, I mean, narcissistic, I think it's rare, right? People who have those kind of disorders is kind of rare. Question three. Question number three, especially if you live in the state of California. Yeah, yep, I agree. Personally, I take accountability for my ex. Lynn, I believe so. I wouldn't be surprised, right? I've seen you, I believe you're that type of woman. Question number four, 100%. 100%. Actually, narcissism is not rare. Really? You just have not been raised to identify it. This is a thing where if it's not rare, most people would be medically, in my opinion, would be medically diagnosed with it. Most people are not, right? I mean, there's no, where's the studies that most people, that narcissism isn't rare? I think it is, right? You might have certain kind of attributes that people believe it. A narcissist not necessarily is a man. I'm not saying that it's a man or a woman. I ran into many. No, yeah, I'm not. Again, how? What would you think that's narcissistic, right? Someone is. I think there's levels to it, right? So I wouldn't say, "Oh, you're a narcissist if you are selfish," right? It's a certain degree, right? That's why I don't like self-diagnosing, right? I don't like people who self-diagnose them with medical terms. It's new. It's the new best trick right out of the Martha Stewart handbook. Well, have to start with a narcissistic definition is love is a hell of a lot of different from the generic public think what it is. Setting your husband to beat up over a lie is narcissistic. It, I think it's manipulative, right? I think it's manipulative. Um, Narcissistic? I don't know if I would again, I'm not 100% clear on the exact definition, so I wouldn't say it's narcissistic or not. Right? I would say it's manipulative, and I think that's a skill a lot of women have. Yes, Lynn, yep, manipulative, right? It's very manipulative. So I would categorize that as manipulative, right? And I'm saying that she essentially using that man like a gun. And I believe a lot of times, a lot of these cases where you see men in jail or men dead or men beat up, women use that man like a gun. Robert, narcissism is a buzzword people use to excuse their own actions and set up victimhood in situations they want justification. I agree. Robertson, I agree 100%. I 100% agree. Apollo, what is up? What is up? Nope, most men are in jail. No, I didn't say most, right? I was not talking about most, right? I didn't say most. You know, No, again, even let's say this, right? Even if a woman used man like a gun, right, pointing him in a certain direction, it's still on his own accord, right? He did it, right? He was stupid enough to, get emotional, stupid enough to overact. Again, please check out my short. I have a recent short, one of my recent shorts, right? And I said it. Women aim men like a gun. Again, still, it is on his own accord. Take accountability, right? He did it, right? He chose to confront another man. No one forced him to confront another man, right? So I'll still say that. But I'm saying if you dig in deeper to a lot of the dark triad, right? I agree that if you dig into a lot of cases and you learn the background, I would think you believe that a lot of times a woman is like telling her brother, telling her cousin, telling her uncle, telling her father about another man. Now, good or bad, I'm not saying necessarily good or bad, but you could say a lot of times these women aim men like a gun. So they point their brother, their father, their cousin, their uncle, whoever at another man. That's what I mean, right? When women aim men like a gun. The high vibration thing, honestly, I think it's corny, right? It's just I think it's I'm not sure if it's an older term, but I know it's getting more modern, popularity, so I think it's corny. Yeah, I know, yeah, the high vibration, low vibration thing, it's like, okay, we always have to do you consider anger emotions? Yes, anger is an emotion. Yeah, I thought that was pretty you know, hippie vibration. I do agree. That's why I think like we constantly need all these kind of terms for everything. That's humans for you. We always need to put terms to everything. I mean, it is what it is, right? I don't mind. Do I believe in an afterlife? No. I don't. I don't believe in an afterlife. Um, because I see. I think this is my thing, right? To believe in afterlife, to believe in reincarnation, I kind of think it's a cop out again, right? I mean, let's say the Muslim thing, right? They believe that okay, I'm gonna go to again. I'm not a Muslim guy, so I don't really know it correctly. Just what I glance or hear, but to believe that I'm gonna end up in heaven with 16 virgins, so, if I kill myself now, it's okay. If I blow up a building, it's okay because I'm gonna end in heaven with 16 virgins. It's like, seriously? No. And that's why again, I think it's another cop out. Anger is the easiest emotion to display and confuse with others. I agree. Anger is the easiest emotion men. Men are soaked in anger. I see. This is the thing where I don't think men are soaked with anger. I think testosterone uh ha gives men a easier on and off switch, right? It's on and off. So it's not a gradual switch, right? So because of testosterone, men are easily, you know, have a switch on. No, it's more acceptable for men to show emotions that way. Or you just never learn the terminology. That's arrogance. I mean, not learning something, I don't think it's arrogance. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing where I think certain faiths don't make sense to me, but I mean, that's just me. I don't know. I just feel like why don't you I feel like judge yourself now, in my opinion. That's how I view it. So in this situation, it's not what you say, it's what you're not saying because you can't express yourself vocal vocabulary wise. I guess if you say so. Pick up a dictionary or Google it. Pick up a thick source. Again, it's like this is a thing where we don't need to, as human beings, right? We don't need to learn every single term. We don't need to know every single word in a dictionary. I'm sorry, right? And I could Google it, but again, I'm on live right now, so I can't switch off of it. Arrogance, arrogance to believe it should be known to be authentic. Sorry, not to you. Okay, okay, okay. You can't get on him for not knowing a single term. There's likely a term you don't. Yeah. I mean, again, people who not not knowing everything is all good, right? That's the thing. We don't have to know everything. Nobody's saying you have to learn every single term in it, but you need to express yourself. And if you could do that in an intelligent way, then that's commendable. To be honest, I'm not seeing how I'm not expressing myself in a more in a logical way or ad- adequately expressing myself, right? But yeah, you know what? This is the thing where I'm always open to learning new things, right? That's my thing too, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. Talking about the viewers, I get it. But this is the thing where I want everyone to have an open mind that we're always willing to learn more, right? I'm always willing. I hope everyone, right, is always willing to learn more, right? We should always be willing to learn more. Never have an issue with it, right? That's interesting. Never have an issue to learn more, my brothers. Oh, Robert, what's up? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you. Again, right? I'm bored. If you guys are bored, let's have a conversation. We can have a conversation back and forth, right? To be honest, I'm willing to talk about anything. These are just, whatever topics I can think of, but I'm down to talk about anything and everything. If you guys see my content, I have opinions on almost everything, right? I mean, not like everything, but I have a lot of opinions on a whole lot of things. So I'm always down to talk about certain topics. Now, if I don't have an opinion on it, I definitely will say it. So, I'm not gonna fringe, you know, intelligence or fringe opinions on anything. So thank you everyone for being here. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Uh, what else would you guys? I mean, trying to think if anyone has any other opinions. It's cool that you guys are talking amongst yourselves. It's all good, right? That's all good. Thank you for being active, right? Thank you for being active in the chat. You guys are amazing. Um, Robert, you are one weird ass person, but trolls are all good, right? Trolls are part of the internet, so it's all good. It's all good to troll. Uh, Dango, my sister. Genuine question, but do you think feminism has an actual framework, uh, and doctrine to guide, teach, and lead society since they want to replace men? Let me say this, right? I'm not gonna spout that I know feminism, um, you know, literature, right? I'm not gonna spout that I know feminism literature. So I don't I'm not going to say about feminism literature. What I would say that feminism on display, I think feminism has not helped society. I think feminism don't help women. They're what I've heard, right? Again, not I'm not reading any literature or studying feminism. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to preference my logic on that. I'm not basing it on I study feminism. No. But feminism in play, right? Feminism how it's portrayed has not been beneficial to men or women as a whole, right? It can't lead society. I think it's a detriment to society. I think it's hurting society, feminism as a whole, right? I so as human species, feminism is a very dangerous thing in my opinion. I'm very masculine woman who thinks like a man, but is not gay. That's interesting, Lynn. So yeah, this is what you choose to talk about women. I mean, again, in life, it's about men and women, right? I mean, I don't understand, right? The most important thing, in my opinion, in life is men and women, right? If men and women don't like each other or they have disagreements, why not? But I mean, I'm also down to talk about whatever, right? If you guys have any topics, if you guys see my content, I have opinions on many other things. Too much time in your hands, buddy. Like I said, chubby. I said it. I'm bored. If you're bored, let's have a conversation. All right. What do you think of these dudes? But Nathan, yes. Let's be honest here. Number one is very obviously. I mean, I mean, if you didn't hear what I said, right? I have a video, right? Again, right? Women are not more violent than men, but I said in certain cases that I think women are more. Women should women are more violent than society make them out to be. If you include that, a lot of times women can manipulate or aim men like a gun. I have a video on my one of my shorts that pretty much shows this, where a woman um, went to her husband to say that said that she went to her husband and said that, oh, this man called me a b. So her husband went to confront the man. So they had an argument back and forth, and I believe a lot of cases, not all cases, not majority of cases, right? I have no study, I have no statistic on it, but I believe a lot of cases is that a woman is aiming a man like a gun. So a lot of these cases where men have a fight, she's aiming her brother, her cousin, her uncle, her father, her man at another man, right? She's aiming her the men in her life at other men. So, I mean, again, I'm in America, so I'm talking about American women. I don't know how women are like in other countries. Well, if words are violence, then number one could be true. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, not just the word part. It's also the manipulation part. Like I said, women can aim men like a gun, right? Take in consideration what I said above. I mean, yes, part the word can be violence, but also manipulation using emotions, right? Using men to aim at other men. I believe a lot of cases, right? And I've heard it too, where women can use their brothers, their cousins, their uncles, their fathers, or their men to aim at other men. Like if you disrespect a woman, she's gonna tell another man, and that man is gonna confront you, and you're gonna have a fight, or even worse, maybe kill one another, and then one person either dies, get beat up, or end in prison. Essentially, I said he's accountable for his actions, right? He's accountable for his actions, but you know, that could be, what is it? Proxy violence, right? Proxy violence, where again, that man is technically could be used to could be perceived as a weapon, right? She's using that man as a weapon. Boredom has destroyed many lives. I agree. I agree. Then don't women then don't disrespect don't disrespect women. I'm sorry. I mean, in society, we always I think that's ridiculous, right? Don't disrespect women. That's to be honest, it's like, people everyone have heated arguments. Everyone have um hostility or back and forth with each other. Women can be violent with other women. There's a lot of social competitions and undermining. I agree with that. I agree with that. When one doesn't have the content for violence, they become ambivalent to its outcomes. I agree. I agree. Emmett Till. I mean, this is the thing, right? That Emmett Till is probably a great example. A woman used a bunch of men pretty much like a weapon, right? Cool kid. It's all good. Cuckold. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Again, we're just having conversation on pretty much anything. These are just topics I thought of that we can have a debate or a conversation on, right? Um, you pick a color?
You just want the whole color, or you want the French? You want gray? What's the French tip? Like, oh, so you want white on the tip? I want gray. Yes, in white tip. That's right. She thought that you want that gray for the tip. That's why. She. Great. Understand. It's okay. Super fine. Simple fine. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, friends. But it's serious now. What's up, man? I am stamping because the sickness targets for American women. Why? Talk about Chinese women. We don't even right. Yeah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Oh shit. Feminist black American women. What we talking? We brown. No, it's not. We black. Show baby. We black. That's about it. It is about that. Since he want to make it about that, it's about that. I ain't racist, but he talking about he's being conscious. He's making it a race thing. I'm right. It's not over. Okay, I'm crazy. It's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just we're having a conversation. Lynn, what's up, Lynn? I can easily manipulate people. My personality is the same as Palatine. Yeah, only people with low IQ get emotional. Yeah, people easily. Yes, people just easily get emotional. They don't really know what they're talking about. So yeah, best day, the best day to break up with your boyfriend is Valentine's Day, of course, after he gives you the present. Yeah, that ain't a great day to break up. Nothing to do. What is up? What is up? Women are men and men are women. I mean, there are differences. There are differences. There are actually a lot of differences. Can you su- Cap? What is up? Support your case. I don't know what your case is. I'm identified as African. Yeah, well, that's all good. Oh, you accidentally committed arson. Yeah, that's I don't know if I could support that. That's not arson. No, no, it's not. As in, it's accidental. Arson, yeah, arson has built-in intent. Yes. Well, would would there be accidental arson? I don't know. Yeah, you causes the fire, you're going to jail. I do believe so. Silent voice. What is up? What is up? DJ. Nothing to do. All five are correct. Cake war. I mean, I don't know why would you think that, right? I'm down for a debate. I'm down for a conversation if you could support it. You could. I mean, it's up to you, right? We don't, if you don't have if you don't want a conversation, you don't want a conversation. Sasquatch, what is up? I mean, yeah, but how would they get like? I mean, you can't get divorced without marriage, so that's why the conversation requires a woman, which you actively does it. I mean, I don't know. Wick. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Let's not. Let's try not to insult each other, and do not. Men do not want to get married. I am. There is a growing population that don't want to get married. I do agree. Less and less people do. World Radio, what is up? What is up? Cake, I don't know, like you just said you don't want to have a conversation, but yet you're asking me a question. I don't really understand it. Misinformation? I don't know what's misinformation about it. Yeah, I mean, it's a conversation. Why do you disagree? No, I mean, no hurt, no hurt. What is the misinformation? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't opinions are not misinformation. I agree. I agree. How's it attacking? It's more about like if you could debate the opposite, right? If you can refute the claims. Why do you even care? That's the thing, right? Why wouldn't men care? Why wouldn't men care? I mean, I don't understand. Why wouldn't men care? I mean, again, I don't think it's attacking women, right? I have some opinions. I'm definitely down to debate those opinions. More men are driven. Exactly, Nas. Exactly. Again, the first part, right? The first part of it, women are more violent than men. It's kind of like a clickbaity thing. I get it, but it's more about or more violent. Women are more violent than perceived, right? Than society let them out to be. I think women are emotional, right? I think women are overly emotional. I think women easily get angry. Um, and if they're dealing with other men, sometimes they point their brothers, their cousins, their uncles, their fathers, or their men at other men. So they're essentially using men like a gun, right? Using men like a gun to aim at another man. TikTok diaries. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. See, this is not. I'm not talking about the. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about that. Again, this is not. Two things can be true at once. I'm not saying that men aren't violent, right? I'm not necessarily that men don't commit heinous crimes. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, I'm not again mass. I don't. You don't judge everything just on mass shootings, right? I don't. That's not. I wouldn't judge everything just purely on mass shootings. Did he offer the claims generalize women, ignore data and context, oversimplifying breakups, turn social issues into blame, and dismiss real experience instead of addressing complexity. And again, this is why you build a conversation, right? This is why you have a conversation where you could talk things out. Because what would you thought, right? What's your thoughts? I'm giving you what my opinions are. Let's hear what your opinions are. I wouldn't say we use men as a gun, but in dangerous situations or when we need defense, men are stronger. See, here's the thing, right? I have a video. Like I said, I have a video on my shorts where a wife uh, told her husband that another man called her a B, right? Another man called her a B. So essentially, her husband went to confront this other man. So essentially, she aimed her husband like a gun towards another man. Now, getting name calls, I don't necessarily automatically view that as aggression in a sense, or violence in a sense. Again, I'm not saying commit violence, right? I'm not saying committing it, right? It's something called like proxy violence, right? Proxy violence. Again, I'm not saying it's just that, but I think the main reason, the main catalyst is boredom, right? I think the main catalyst is boredom. The three disagree. Both genders have different pros and cons. I mean, again, uh, it's not like it's not like you know that big, right? I said that um I still think that, because this is the thing, right? Women generally benefit from divorce. Well, you can't get divorce if you're not married. No, not it's not acknowledging harm. I don't think that's victimhood, right? I think labeling everything as harm, like everything as harmful, is pretty much dodging accountability. Robinson, exactly. Yes. No. No one is saying men aren't violent. If we react off of negative emotions, the results are very likely to be more violent. I agree. That's the thing where I'm not saying men aren't violent, right? I'm not saying men aren't violent. Hell, I mean, again, like I said, the first part is probably clickbaity, so I agree. Um, the first part is probably clickbaity, so I definitely agree. Um, it's just to get the conversation fiery. But again, I just believe that the second part is that, you know, we perceive women as not as violent, or are not as aggressive, but in many ways women can be. Again, yeah, not all women. Nothing is about all women, right? Again, certain things I'm not talking about facts, right? This is more opinion. This is more conversational. Particularly like number one, right? I have no I'm not basing it on any studies. I'm not basing number one on any studies. I mean, I agree, right? I don't disagree that women are more efficient at manipulation. I don't disagree, right? I'm not saying, but here's the thing: where there's a term called proxy violence, right? Right. So you use men as a gun. That's the thing. Where no, again, nothing is about every woman, right? Nothing is about every woman. Again, the cake, right? This is not talking about, oh, violence don't happen to women. You guys are construing multiple things into one thing. Okay, like two things can be true at once. They also benefit off of child support. Yeah, yeah. Adventure, what is up? Hey, man, I'm getting. I don't know how I'm being rude, right? You're being rude because you're generalizing women, dismissing their again, you have to generalize because there's always, exceptions, right? There are always I'm not going to specifically one woman, or because it's a generalized conversation, because everyone, you could say that there's so many different experiences in this world. So that's why it has to be a generalized conversation, or you will or conversation will go on forever, right? Because there's always an exception. There's always an outlier. There's always a different experience. So you have to generalize. Again, cake. Not there's no hurt, right? It's just having a conversation. Right? These are a little bit hopefully these are a little bit more risque or risky, or very triggering conversation topics. So that's what I mean. Cano, I mean you are construing many things in one thing, right? I'm not talking about, yeah, being kidnapped or forced. I get that. That's not really what I'm talking about. I don't believe I'm attacking, right? I believe I'm having a conversation. Not a virgin, sadly, 2 baby moms. Definitely probably would have been better off a virgin. Right? 2 baby moms is a headache. So I'm not crazy about it. Killy. Yeah, women aren't worth the liability. More men should think like that, right? Again, you guys gotta think, right? It's not attacking. I'm not trying to attack anything. No, I've never been beaten by a woman or cheated or been cheated on, right? Again, it's a generalized conversation, right? Let's have a back and forth, an opinion, right? What's your opinion? What's my opinion? Let's just have a conversation. Why did you separate from your um one? I was young, right? The first one, I was young. Um I was young, so the whole typical I didn't want to commit when I was so young. So it was my stupid self, right? I agreed to my fault from that one. Second one, um, she was controlling, right? She was very controlling. So I couldn't deal with it, right? With the amount of how she wanted to control everything, I had to, yeah. But all his channel is see this is the thing, right? You said okay, you TikTok, you, TikTok. You said, but all his channel is making women look bad. I do mainly reactions, right? Video reactions. So I have a video and I'm reacting to it. Again, did I force a woman to make said video? Did I force a woman to say what she said? Did I force a woman to do what she did? I didn't force anyone. Okay. It's about holding accountability, right? Again, see, this is why I have number four, right? So you guys were disagreeing with it, right? Again, no accountability. Holding someone accountable for the words that they say, and then you wonder why women don't hold themselves accountable. Jeremy, thank you for swiping over. It's not best to generalize all men and all women in a category. Again, to be honest, to have a conversation, you have to generalize. Anonymously, to have a conversation, you have to generalize, or else, how could you have a conversation? Because there's always exceptions. No, 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 Kelly. This is just an opinion, right? An opinion, right? I'm number one is purely an opinion. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say. That's why I'm not saying. I base my. I said number one, right? I'm basing it off an opinion, a theory I'm developing, right? It's a theory I'm developing, where I believe that if you look into a lot of cases where men are in jail, men get beat up, men get killed, right? Not all cases, but some of them, if not a lot of them. You could, if you look into these cases, a lot of times women aim this man at another man. That's what I'm saying, right? Again, I'm not saying this is based on studies. I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying women. Violence don't happen to women. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, it's a theory that I have, and I wonder if you guys disagree or agree, or what are your thoughts on it? That's pretty much it. Again, it's a generalized conversation, right? It's a generalized conversation. Yes, yeah, for sure. It's my weakness saying all men or all or women do something. Yeah, I'm not saying all. No one's all, right? How do I defend my generalized opinion? By having examples, right? Real world examples. Again, right? Having real world examples. Again, these are anecdotal, right? So this is why, having I'm not saying all women. This is why, having generalized conversation is better, right? I'm not saying all women. I'm not even saying the majority of women, right? In my opinion. I believe it's just more than what society perceives, right? That's what I'm saying. Um, I'm not even saying most, right? I'm not even saying most. I said it's more than what we perceived, right? More than what we think society is, right? And again, my anecdotal experience, anecdotal observations. I have plenty of videos that show it, right? That's also the thing, bro. It's crazy. If I agree, I will get rid of. Like I've been getting called misogynist up and down, but it's all good, right? Again, I'm being respectful, right? I want to show that I'm being respectful. We're just having a conversation, back and forth. Hound, thank you. Stand with me. Go back to the drawing board because you just sound hurt. I'm not hurt, right? I don't know. I think I'm having a fun back and forth. I love it that there's a lot of people, you know, this is not a court, right? This Kelly, this is not a court, right? I'm not trying to like have a a legal discussion with you, right? This ain't the court. I mean, this is maybe the court of public opinion, but this is why we are having a discussion, right? Sometimes I don't understand, right? You guys make it seem like we can't have a opinion, right? Respectful opinion. Is it possible you just had particularly bad experience with women and have they have warped your mind? Here's the thing, right? Great question. Okay. Now, again, you said unfounded assumption about all women. I never say all women. That's the thing. Stop it. Please stop it. Not all women. I'm not saying all women. Please understand this. Not all women. I don't know how much I gotta stress it. I'm not saying all women. Please. Right. So again, when I preference it, I say maybe majority of women, maybe some women, maybe a lot of women. Never will I say all women in certain things. Maybe there's a case where I do say all, but I'm not saying all with none of this, right? I'm not saying all with none of this. But again, I've never been cheated on. I've never been, really beat it up. Right. So no woman has like beat me up. I've had toxic relationships, right? I've had toxic relationships, but I don't use that to judge a lot of women, majority of women. I don't use that. This is why you see I have video proof, right? I have a reaction channel. So I have videos of women doing what they're doing. So I use that and the thousands of videos that I've compiled, the thousands of videos that I reacted to get a little bit, to have a bit of a basis to my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that every opinion I have is based on studies, is based on statistics. So I preference that. I'm not saying that, oh my God, you know, uh, I don't know, 70% of women are more violent than men. No, or 70% of women are using men as a weapon. I'm not saying that, right? But this is why I'm trying to preference it, right? I believe women are more violent than society let them than we perceive the women are. That's the thing. Again, my opinion on statement number one, right, is that I have a video, right, on my shorts that show you that a woman is she went to her husband, complaining to her husband about another man. Her husband confronts that other man, right? Whatever, happens. And I believe that yes, women are not as strong as men. Women are in general more emotionally triggered than men, or more emotional than men. So how can women, right, um deal with other men? How does women deal with other men? Guess wow, by using men, right? Women are not going out and beating up men. Women are not going out fighting men that disrespect them. No, they will use other men to do it. So it's a hypothesis, right? It's a hypothesis, a theory I'm developing, theory that you know, it's opinion that I have. So that's just it, right? I'm just again, if you're concerned with the truth, I'm not really talking about the truth. I'm shooting out an opinion, right? I'm not using statistical. Again, you conflating thing, Kelly. I say women in general, right? In general, right, can get more emotional than men. I'm not saying men aren't emotional. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that men aren't more. I'm not saying that men aren't emotional. I don't. I literally. I don't hear anything of me hating women. Right. I don't. I don't perceive it as hate. But if you do, I guess you do. Uh, I'm. I hope I'm. I'm not trying to get emotional. I'm just talking. No, I mean, okay, I admit, right? The first part, women are more violent than men. I get it. I own up to. I own up to that, right? It's kind of rage baiting. I own up to that. I agree, but it's to get the conversation started because again, it's more about the second part, right? We Society perceive women are not violent or they are not you know easily triggered or whatever, right? They but it's sometimes proxy violence could be a thing. That's where I'm going for. So basically, you want a debate that's based on opinions. You could say a debate. Maybe it's a conversation, right? A conversation based on opinions, right? That's what I'm gonna think, right? You have yours, I have mine. Let's see if our opinions clash, or if you can change my opinion, or if yours makes more sense. Because again, does like I said, here's my opinion. How do women deal with men that may be disrespectful to them, that may be aggressive to them, that may be whatever to them, right? How would women deal with other men that disrespect them or whatever? How would they deal with that? By using men, right? That is, I think that's a kind of a true thing, right? By using men to handle other men, right? That's the thing where, again, men keep other men in check, right? The logic kind of flows, right? Men keep other men in check. Women don't really do that, right? So how would women keep other men in check? By using men, right? So you could use your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your father, your man, a police. You could use the police. That's how you could keep other men in check. If they disrespect you, if they, you know, try to harm you or whatever. Essentially that, right? And essentially a way that you can use men like a gun, like a weapon aimed at other men. Again, that's not saying that, oh, men aren't violent. That's not saying that, oh, women don't get harmed. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, opinions mean a lot in conversations, right? Opinions mean a lot in conversations. So if you don't think it means much, then not everyone is like having, base every single thing they say on studies. Because that's definitely not true, right? Not everyone's basing every single thing they base on studies. I kind of base it on like maybe observational, right? Observational opinions and theories. Men are nothing without women. I don't disagree. Pet, I don't disagree. Again, it's not world. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. I'm not disagreeing. If you cared about violence going under the radar, focusing on again, it's a conversation, right? Focusing on the minority of women who enact violence on par with men is just silly. You give the impression that no, this is the thing, right? I'm not focusing on violence that go under the radar necessarily, right? I'm focusing on something that I'm okay. I guess you could say that, right? I guess you could say that it's focused on violence that go under radar. But again, it's a conversation. Another conversation could be yes, the violence that men do commit a lot of violence, right? Or a lot of violence is committed by men. But again, they could exist in the same, same dimension, right? Two conversations can exist in the same conversation in the same universe. I mean, but Gwen, right? You said tell any straight man you thought he was gay and see how triggered he gets. Insulting people. I'm not. This is a thing where I'm not saying that men don't get emotional. I'm not saying that men don't get triggered, right? But again, yeah, if you call a woman out her name, she's gonna get triggered too. Two things can be true at once. I'm not saying that men don't get triggered, right? I'm not saying that men don't get emotional. I've never said that. That's not what I'm. That's not what the conversation is. Right? That's not what I'm trying to say. We're so quick to call men. We're so quick to call men misogynist, but we don't call women misandrous at anywhere near the same rate. I agree. I agree. And this is a thing where and we are quick to mislabel people. I'm not hating women. I'm having a conversation, right? I'm having a conversation and respectful. I'm not calling anyone out of their name. I have a theory. I have an opinion on something that could go back and forth. See what's your opinion on what's my opinion on it. Let's have a conversation on it. You could call it a debate. You could call it a conversation. That's up to you. But again, it's just a conversation. That's the thing. Devil's advocate. Violence, just another thing we men are better at. By the way, someone calling me gay doesn't yes, and someone calling me gay doesn't upset me, okay? I'm not triggered by people name calling me because like plenty of people, even in the comment section, have name called me. I have people calling me gay constantly, but sometimes like if I was gay, I wouldn't have baby mama issues, right? I wouldn't have baby mama issues. So to be honest, not something I could choose, right? I didn't choose to be. I mean, just like you can't choose to be gay, I didn't choose to be straight. So so I don't care, right? People call me names all they want. I mean, people make fun of me all they want, and that's the price of online, right? That's the price of being online. You get insulted a lot. Only gay people call people gay. I agree. Kelly, I think modern women definitely says misandrous things, but it's understandable. See, that's crazy, right? You think it's understandable that women are misandrous. Okay. It's not much to endure when a woman says he hates all when she hates all men. You are not subjugated to misandry the way misogyny oppresses. This is a thing where I'm called a misogynist on this stream, right? I'm called a misogynist on the stream. How am I oppressing anyone, right? How? How's even the things I say oppressive? That's the thing where there's no logic to that, in my opinion. So if I brought crime statistics on violent crimes and they are heavily skewed to men. Here's the thing, right, Gwen, right? So you said this, right? If I brought crime statistics on violent crimes and how they heavily skew to men, okay, I don't disagree. The majority of, let's say, majority of crime or even violent crime is committed by men. But here's the thing, right? If you actually look at those statistics, majority of violent crime is committed by men. Majority of men don't commit violent crimes. You want to use statistics, you want to use studies, that is a fact, right? That is a fact. Majority of men do not commit violent crimes. Majority of men do not even commit violent crimes against women. Majority of men do not commit violent crimes against women. Yes, the majority of violent crimes are committed by men. Great, I agree. That doesn't mean the two are the same. So you could use your statistics, but it doesn't prove any point. I would not ignore that stat. I said it. I agree. Majority of crime is committed by men. It's like a thinker talking to feelers. I mean, my brother, my brothers tell me worse things on the regular. I get called regular terrible things uh a lot online. So yes, women have been abused by men and their mothers before them. It is understandable when they this is a thing where see that that Kelly, that statement is kind of disingenuous, right? Yes, most women have been abused by men. Most women. Where's your study of that? You constantly talk about stats. Where's your study that right? Most women have been abused by men. I want to know, I want to have a study on that, right? You could say most abuse, right? Most abuse against women is committed by men. It doesn't mean that most men commit abuse. So it's like no. I mean, you asked. I'm saying, right? No. I'm not saying how misogyny is oppressive. I'm saying how you label individual men, right? You label certain men misogynist. How's that oppressive, right? How's that man being oppressive to you, right? Because you label any man you disagree with as a misogynist, but that still means more of the violence is. Yes, I don't disagree, but again, let's say this, right? 10 crimes committed by men. 10 crimes committed by men. Zero crime committed by women. 10 compared to zero. Yes, that's a lot. But when you say 10 crimes committed by men, yet there's a population of 100 men, okay, that information is disingenuous. Right? You see how it's disingenuous? When yes, 10 crimes are committed by men. Well, we're going with you, huh? Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Gotta go to work. Uh, Stay tuned for other streams. If you guys have more disagreements, I have a call-in panel, right? I have a call-in panel on Wednesdays if you guys want to debate in person.